Hello and welcome. I am X of Light and this is my podcast. Today I have with me Rob. Hello, Rob.
Hello, Tracy. How are you this morning?
I'm doing much better. It's been a long time.
It certainly has.
Um, I'm glad to be here. Alive. Rather than you trying to contact me through a Ouija board. That would have been a good podcast, though.
Well, I've got to say, as much as I like you, I doubt that I would have been using a Ouija board. Because it's not you that I would be worried about. It's the people that you might bring with you.
Oh, Rob, I think you underestimate how tough I can be, even in death.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'm recovering, and let's keep our fingers crossed for that.
Always.
So I missed you guys, and before we get started, if you would go ahead and give this video a thumbs up, that would be awesome. And if you are not subscribed and you would like to be, go ahead and push that subscribe button. And for those of you who are subscribed, still go in and check and make sure you are. There's been some stuff going on with YouTube as usual. And if you'd like to be notified when my content goes up, go ahead and click that bell and choose the option you would like for your notifications. I'm not a pest. I'm not going to be doing 3 times a day dinging your little bell. So it'll be fine. Anyway, today Rob and I are going to we're going to chat with you guys. We're going to talk about an update to paranormal incidents in our lives, if we've had any, if we have not. And if we get around to it, we're going to talk about familiars. Rob is mine.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I have a big teddy bear familiar.
Thanks for that.
Yeah. So, all right. So, Rob, how's things going over there? Your Brexit thing seems all farkered up.
Oh, I don't know. No one knows. That's the whole point of it. Nobody knows what's going on.
Somebody just needs to put a little boot on the UK and just kick it off into the ocean.
Well, yeah. I don't think the politicians know what's going on, to be honest.
Come down here. Come over here. We have plenty of room. And I will trade you.
Oh.
I'll live where you live. It's nice.
It is nice. It's very nice. But as far as Brexit is concerned, you can have it.
Okay. No. We got our own S show over here. Everybody does at the moment, I think.
Yeah.
So I think, when was the last time we did a podcast, Rob?
It's a while. Me and Jeremy tried to do one, but
Yes. Rob and Jeremy did a podcast. It was 2 hours long.
which was
It was very
brilliant, by the way.
interesting. Yeah, it was really good. And you'll be shocked to find out that it wasn't recorded. I know. Shocking. But they're going to redo it.
Yeah.
They're going to redo it like they've never said it before. And you guys will like it, I think. It was very interesting. And I didn't really have much to do with it because I was still trying to live. I just listened to these intelligent men. There are worse things. So I have moved from my previous extraordinarily haunted apartment. Thank you. A little bit too much activity for my taste. I don't mind a little bit, but I have moved and I I'm in a new place. I'm still in the same state, but I love it. I love where I live right now, and I want you guys to all come over, and we'll have a party. All right, maybe not. And I don't have a stalker anymore, Rob.
That's good.
Yeah,
You've not given me your address yet, though.
yeah. As soon as I give my address out, remind me to do that at the end. I'm really not going to talk about where I live as much as I did before. I mean, people could practically fly a drone over where I lived before and figure out which one was me. So I'm not going to do that this time. A little less stalker action is okay. But you, on the other hand, you're pretty popular with the ladies.
Oh, please. We're not going there, are we?
uh, Rob's been
No.
pretty popular with the ladies lately. That's all I'm saying.
I'm really scared about what you're going to say now.
That's all I'm going to say.
Oh, right, okay.
I can leave it right there. Unless you would like to say
No.
something. Okay, okay.
I was literally butterflies in my tummy, scared. You scared when you.
Rob tells me he doesn't trust me about what I'm going to say on these podcasts. I don't know why he thinks I'm so evil. Anyway, so what we're going to do is we're going to talk about, have you had any paranormal activity since the last time we talked about it, which was almost a year ago, I think. We did a video about why we had stopped naming the lists of demons' names. Don't do it. It's not fun. And we kind of backed off of stuff for a while. And it was going pretty good for me. It really hadn't had anything too bad happen. But a little bit of stuff starting up a little bit. I'll talk to you about that in a little while. Not bad, which is good. What about you?
Well, excuse me. It just shows you how you can't take things for granted, and you've got to be really, really careful from what happened last time. But
Yeah.
obviously, with my daughter, like we were talking about, excuse me, she has. We had we did the video about the orbs, which she
Mm-hmm.
can see without the camera.
Right.
She can see them basically around the room, which to me it blew my mind, to be honest. But she can see them. I can see them through the camera lens or through the phone lens or screen. She can see them basically without anything.
Right. And there's a video listed in the playlist that says little girl can see
Yeah.
something. By the way, your beard is scratching on your microphone.
Okay. Sorry, everyone.
There you go.
But she is starting to, whatever she is seeing or whatever she's experiencing now is starting to scare her to the point where she doesn't like going out when it's dark without me. Has to sleep with the hallway light on, and so that's ramped up a little bit. And obviously, I'm still seeing what I'm seeing, the little shadow figures and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But mine, it's pretty much the same. To be honest, it's pretty much the same. But I just tend to ignore it if I can. I
Yeah.
just tend to ignore it.
Well, why do you think that it is starting to scare her? Is it changing, or do you think it's overwhelming?
Well, excuse me. Like I said to you yesterday, I need to get her here without her little sister, so we can have a proper chat about it. Because I
Yeah.
don't want to scare the little one.
Right.
So I'm not sure. I can't really answer that question. I don't know. I simply don't know. I just want to find out myself and try and reassure her. Um, she's There's a few incidents of her seeing stuff at her mum's house, which we've talked briefly about, but I've told her not to talk about in front of the little one.
Yeah.
Um, so it's.
And do you want to, or are you able to say what she saw at her mom's house?
It was just like I think it was a little old lady at the top of the stairs,
Mm-hmm.
or I can't remember. I think it was a little old lady at the top of the stairs. It was something that she saw a figure at the top of the stairs, which is um, the stairs in her mum's house. They have a slight. I remember this yesterday after I was talking to you. They sort of bend at the top, so you can't see the top of the stairs from the bottom of the stairs
Mm.
unless the person or the thing that's on the top is leaning round
Mm.
to look down to the bottom.
Mm.
So that's what, to me, that whenever I think about that, I always remember. Do you remember the famous photograph the Warrens took in the Amityville house of
Mm.
the little boy
Yeah.
with the glowing
Yeah.
eyes?
Yeah.
I always get that. I always get that. And he was sort of peering out of the room, wasn't he?
Yeah.
I think the camera was set up on the stairs, and he was peering out of the bedroom. For some reason, that photograph really it scares me. That photograph. I don't know why.
Mm.
I think it's because it's a child,
Right. Right. Yeah.
and the way the eyes are glowing.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to bear in mind this photograph was taken before we could manipulate. It was very difficult to um, what's the word I'm looking for, Trace? Manipulate, and before CGI and all the rest of it, and
Yeah. Before um why
you
can't I
could
think of the word?
before photographs were easily doctored.
Yeah, but there's a word. It's
Yeah,
a what?
which I
It's a
can't.
program. Why can't I say it? Hey, hey, Josh. Josh. Okay, headphones. He's got the headphones. Anyway, Photoshop. Photoshop.
Yeah, that's
That's what
it.
we're looking for.
Yeah, it was before that.
Right.
Everybody must have seen the photograph. If you haven't seen the photograph, just go and look on um, on Google, and you'll be able to put it in, and you'll see this photograph of this little boy who looks uncannily like one of the kids that was killed in the house,
Yeah.
which
Oof.
also makes it really scary.
Yeah.
But yeah, and you going back to what you asked me about what's been going on here. I was
You're
making.
still scratching, dude.
What about now?
Nope.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Women.
By the way, I called you dude.
I know you did.
That was weird.
Cheers, dude.
Hey, dude.
Anyway, I was making some vegetable soup the other day. Not yesterday, the day before. A friend of mine, Paul, who's grows amazing veg. He had given me a load of veg, so I was making some vegetable soup, and I was chopping carrots. Now my kitchen is sort of at one end of my apartment, and I made the soup, blah blah blah. I was putting it on the put it in the pot to cook it and blah blah blah. And then I walked all the way down my hallway into my living room, and there's two pieces of carrot on the floor. Now, this might not sound like, but it's impossible for them to get to where they were. It was impossible. Two pieces of carrot. So I think I'm being haunted by a giant rabbit.
I want to be haunted by a giant rabbit.
Just stairs with him in place there. I was like, how the flipping heck is that? Well, words to that. How's that got there? Oh, crazy. What's so funny about why are you laughing?
I just think that might be the least frightening haunting I've ever heard of.
It's not the point of it was carrot.
Oh, oh.
It's just the
Maybe
fact
it
that
was hungry.
it hadn't eaten the carrot. It was not like little bits of carrot left over. It was two big chunks of carrot
That's
had
because you
been
came back too soon.
from the taken from the kitchen all the way down the hallway. Not magic carrot into the living room. It was like
Wait,
not only it
it
had
was
fell,
not even in the kitchen. It was in the living room.
yeah, all that way. You've seen my flat. It's a long. There's no way carrot. It's not bouncy carrot.
The mystery of the flying carrots. That actually is really weird. How is that possible?
Exactly.
Well, that's interesting. At least it wasn't knives or anything.
Well, yeah, that would be completely different.
That's really funny. I can't believe you didn't tell me about that.
Completely forgot about it.
Well, I think your ghost needs to step it up a notch.
But when the girls were here, they were out most of the time. They were out playing with their friends. I think I did tell you about this. I'd be like, "Who's that?" And I could hear they pop in and out and get themselves a drink, or I don't know, for whatever reason they come into the kitchen to get themselves a chocolate bar or a drink or a biscuit or whatever. I was forever saying, "Which one of you is it?" It was that kind of thing, shouting out,
Right.
and there was lots of times where I could hear the drawers opening and closing, and I think they're fucking oh, sorry, I shouldn't have swore. They're bloody, they're flipping ignoring me, which really, really roused me. I can't stand it, and they both know that. Can't stand it when they ignore you. Just one of my pet beef. And they wouldn't. None of them were in. It was just I could hear shit going on, and not. What is wrong with you?
Okay, A, you trying not to cuss, but still cussing. And B, maybe your ghost. You have a kitchen ghost. That's so. That's so weird. Tell it to make you some dinner.
Yeah, who wants to live here? Not living here rent free.
Damn straight. Quit taking my carrots. Oh my gosh. All
Yeah, but can
right.
you imagine how off-putting that can be?
Oh no, yeah.
That joking apart, it's very because obviously you can physically hear somebody doing something in a room, and then you get up, and then that person's not there. Well, there's no people there. The kids aren't there. They're outside playing.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I don't like that.
and I've still heard it um, since the girls have gone home.
This is new, isn't it?
This is new, yeah.
Yeah.
But the I we always used to hear stuff around the flat,
Uh-huh.
but in the kitchen, yeah.
Huh.
Um,
That's strange to have lived there for so long and to have something new start.
but that makes me wonder about what you're going to tell everyone in a minute. Whether it's we have some kind of connection,
Right. Well, we do.
because
I think. Anyway.
yeah. Well, go on, tell everyone what's. Are you ready to tell everyone about your what's happened with you?
Yeah, I want to talk about me and the kids too. What's been going on with them? So, um, so I told Rob when I moved here that this place feels very light. I don't feel any bad energy. I love it. I wish I could describe it to you guys a little bit better without the fear of somebody, you know, stalking me. Um, but I love it. It's very light and happy and airy, and um, I haven't had anything happen. I have been telling him that, like, um, you know, I I do, and I just realized this. I do see a black figure off to the right all the time. It seems it's a tall figure. Um, Catches my eye all the time when I'm watching something. I don't usually watch TV. I usually watch something on my iPad, and I'll catch it out of the corner of my eye, and I'll look over there. I'll think it's my husband coming out of the bedroom, or Josh walking out of the bathroom or something. I look that direction, and there's nothing there. But I'm so used to that I didn't even bring it up to you, because that's just part of life for me,
Mm,
to see shadow figures. It's not frightening. I haven't felt a bad presence about it. I just see it over there, you know. Um, but for years and years and years and years and years, I have had this little boy that um, goes with me wherever I go, and I haven't heard from him for a long time. He would talk to me in the previous apartment, but even then, after the really big problem that we all experienced, even after that, the stuff really slowed down for me. I changed my mindset quite a bit about not letting my guard down, that kind of thing. Not
yeah,
talking about it you know, like it's not a big deal. I don't want to I don't want to like what am I like I don't feel like I want to challenge anybody to anything to make it worse, you know what I mean?
yeah,
So just respect it and ignore it. But I hadn't had anything happen. But starting a few mornings ago, a few nights ago, I was going to bed and not thinking about it, of course, because it's been a while, and I heard mom in that same little boy's voice. It used to be that I would think it was my son Josh, but he just turned 17. He doesn't have a mom voice anymore. And and I stopped dead in my tracks, and I thought, oh, hell no. And I heard it again. Mom, it's plain as day. And I just kept getting ready for bed and just thought, just ignore it. Just don't even. You already stopped moving. You already looked like you were stopped by it. So just keep moving. So I kept getting ready for bed, and I heard it again, Mom. And I finally turned around and said, No, I'm not your mom. You have to go. And I don't know if that was the right thing or the wrong thing to do, but I just was like, oh man, I don't want anything like that in there anymore. I've had my fill, and I know how dark, dark, dark it can get. I don't, I just, so I thought, well, I'm just gonna shut it down. So we'll see if that works. But yeah, it's always been this little boy, and it's weird that like I call it a boy, but it's a distinctly little boy's voice. It doesn't sound like a little girl. It's a boy, and maybe it also feels like a boy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But and then Jory, of course, has they had baby exit light, and that we're gonna call him Baby Light. They don't really want his name, you
No.
know, because of the whole stalker situation, and I think we've all felt comfortable talking about where we live, and that probably isn't the smartest because we have a group of people here on this channel. We all talk, you know. Um, I've had a lot of people for a long time, and you just kind of get a sense of comfort, relaxing, and you kind of forget that there are people out there who you just don't aren't involved or maybe just stopped by and we don't know them and we're just giving out personal information like
Yeah.
not
You
go
know, I
ahead.
don't know if you noticed, I didn't mention the girls' names.
Yeah, oh yeah, right,
I usually do, don't I?
yeah,
And then I just think it's not fair on them
right,
to do that. And yeah, you don't know who's listening. And like you said, the majority of the people that do listen are brilliant, and we have really good
oh yeah,
camaraderie with them and them with us. It's
mm-hmm,
just it's nothing personal towards them. It's just the fact. I think they'd understand anyway.
oh yeah, oh I totally agree. I mean they
Mm,
all came to my defense when we announced it, that I had to have security set up in my last apartment and it was getting really weird and contacting people through other means.
mm,
So, they would understand. Like you said, we have I really have the best subscribers. They're all so great. But you do have random people that don't have great intentions. So, um, especially those people who leave me messages telling me they hate the way I talk. People, I can't change it. It's just me. Anyway, except for now. Now I sound like, as Rob would say, I smoke cigars because part of my healing process is this deep, crackly, sexy voice.
thanks for that.
Anyway, um, so he has the baby, and they have their baby at home, and his wife has been smelling some weird smells. Um, one in particular, and Jory hasn't really been having the same experiences as far as that goes. But then a few days ago, and that's been going on. It's been going on with her for a couple of months, and she, believes in paranormal and stuff, but she's not like us, you know. Um, there are people who believe in paranormal stuff and then move on with their day. Well, then there's the rest of us who belong to this channel
Mm,
who, we like to talk about it and hear about it and watch it, and you know. So she's been telling him that about this smell she smells, and um, as we, anybody who's been here for a while knows, um, baby Light was born under extreme circumstances, and both Joy's wife and baby were very critical, and it was real touch and go for a while. So, we kind of believe that things can come through when you're at your weakest point.
Yeah.
And Jory was telling me that he heard somebody inhale deeply, and then he felt something blow extremely hot air on his face. And something we used to hear in our house in Arizona was breathing, really heavy breathing. So it's a familiar sound to him, but it doesn't make it any less unnerving. So he's been having that, and then my daughter brought her daughter, who's a toddler, to the hospital when I was in ICU, and since then she's been saying she sees ghosts pointing up to the ceiling, saying ghost. She will refuse to go down the hall at her house, screaming, saying there's a ghost. Well, we don't even know how she knows the word. Uh, it's in my it's really strange because my daughter, when she was that same age, she would point to the ceiling as well, but she would say angels, angel. I see angels, and we were like, okay, cool. And I mean, my daughter said, I remember when she was that age, she would say, or up to three, like three, I remember what heaven smelled like. Heaven smelled like cookies, which thrills me, by the way. Some good news right there. Um, but it's funny that that toddlers look up to the ceiling and see whatever they are. But and she's been hearing my daughter's been hearing someone talking to her when she's in the shower, having a conversation with her husband, and he's not there. He is not even in the house. So and it's not the first time, but it's been a long time since it's happened, and it happens very recently, right in a row, where he she was taking a shower, and he came in. She thought upset, and he said, "Oh, Madison," and she said, "What? What? What happened?" Very concerned because she could tell by the tone of his voice that it was something bad, and there was nobody there. And she called him, and she called him, and she called him, and he came in, and she said, "What happened?" And he said, "What are you talking about?" So that's been unnerving her a bit, and it seems to like sort of kick up around this time of year.
Yeah.
I don't know why that is. I mean, without the obvious, like, oh, well, it's coming up on Halloween. I don't, I don't. It's just this time of year for some reason. I don't know why. But so that's been going on in our house. Is our houses Maya, moderator Maya, and producer Jeremy? They also moved, um, and they haven't had anything going on. So cross your fingers for that.
It just makes you wonder. I mean, it makes you wonder how someone who's listening to this now, who has never experienced anything, maybe how they will interpret what we're saying.
Yeah.
And I've just got to say, to if there are any people that haven't, to be quite honest with you, I think the majority of people that that are going to listen to this type of content are going to believe.
Yeah.
Because I think if you didn't believe and you were completely dismissive of it, it wouldn't be interesting for you to listen to.
Right.
But from what happened last year to what's going on
Yeah.
now, I think people really need to understand it's not a game.
Yes.
And we're not just saying this for effect.
Right.
This is something that is very serious to us, and it was very serious last year, very, very serious to us last year.
Yes, very, very
Um,
serious. And you guys can go through my playlist. I have true paranormal stories, and you can go through my playlist and find that we did a podcast about what had happened, and there were other people that witnessed what had happened. Jeremy talks, you talk, because you were one of the first people. You were the first person I called one night in the middle of the night, crying, in the middle of my night, having had a terrible experience, and um, it. We decided then, we all had a conversation and stopped pushing the envelope because we were doing dark material, and like I said, we did a lot of talk about demons and naming them and things like that, and we stopped.
yeah,
And so we sort of gave an explanation to people, like, this is the content you had last week and last month, and this is why it's been so drastically different. Um, and like I told Rob yesterday, that talking about it today, I have a very different approach. Like I said to him, I'm going to lock myself up like an airtight submarine door because I don't want to talk about it as entertainment. And even though I was laughing about your carrots, um, the fact is that it's very, very real,
mm,
and it can get way out of hand. We've experienced it. I really experienced something very frightening. So I don't want to go down that road again. I know Rob doesn't. I know nobody who was involved and heard it and participated and had the effects of it wants to go down that road again. We're still doing paranormal stuff, and we'll
yeah,
still talk about paranormal stuff. And by the way, guys, the 31 days of Halloween is coming, and we're going to be doing it. And one of the things I'm going to do is broadcasting from a cemetery. We're going to do a podcast from a cemetery, which Jeremy and Maya live like a couple houses down from. So I know, yeah, lock it up, lock your lock your submarine door, and let's go to a cemetery. Way to
just
go,
give all that,
Tracy.
just done all that big speech.
Yeah.
They said, "Oh, by the way, I'm going to be doing it from a cemetery."
And by the way, I'm going to be doing it every day. We're going to go to a cemetery. Yeah. But some of it can be entertainment.
Oh
Some of it's
dear.
like real things going on is not that entertaining sometimes. Although flinging carrots out of your soup, it's a strange one.
Never gonna, somewhere else I'm never going to live down. Add to the list.
I have a 14-year-old's joke that it's really stuck in my head that I want to say about that, and I just can't do it. But imagine that
What?
it's really funny. I'm not gonna say it out loud because I'm a lady. I don't know if you noticed or not, Rob.
I'm just trying
I'm
to
a
think what it could
lady.
be.
Well, I'll tell you later. We're gonna talk later. I'll tell you because it's making me laugh. Um, It's what made me laugh. But anyway, so
So, what do you think? Oh, what was that? Was that me or you? Um, what do you think it could be? Have you any clue?
I don't know. It's strange. What's funny is that we all have these things going in the house in our houses, and we casually mentioned it. Like you said, well, you and I were talking, and your girls were there, and you said some stuff is amped up over here. I don't want to talk about it. I can't talk about it right now. And so it was casually mentioned, and then I said to you, hey, by the way, the boy's back. You know, um, casually mentioning it. Madison, said, told me about the whole ghost thing. And then and then I talked to Jory yesterday, and he was telling me about what's been going on over there. What's really weird is these things are happening, and then within the course of a few days, we all went, "Hey, this, and this." And it was funny because Jory said to me yesterday, "I have a story to tell you. Don't let me forget." I said, "Okay," and I said, "I have a story to tell you." And I said, "So the boy is back," and he goes, "Okay, so we have similar stories."
Mm.
And I was like, "Oh, interesting." And so just because in the last week we just all started talking about it, even though it had, like mine just started, but Madison hadn't just started, and Jory's hadn't just started, and it's just kind of strange that it kind of, for us as a group, it sort of comes in clusters, doesn't it?
Yeah, something I've not mentioned to you, and I need to find out exactly what I was talking about. Um, my friend Paul, who does the veg and everything,
Yeah.
um, we were talking the other week, well, 2 or 3 weeks ago now, and um, he he's every couple of weeks we'll go and I go and get my car cleaned or detailed or whatever you call it in America, and it's a big garden centre where I go, and he gets stuff for his. They sell a lot of fish. If you keep fish, and his wife is really into tropical fish, and he always picks some stuff up for her, and we go and have a coffee while they're doing my car, and I've not told you this, Trace, and I just mentioned to him that about the podcast. He wants to listen to this podcast actually.
No.
Um, so,
Well,
and I
hello
was
and
just
welcome.
so I was saying to him, we do all sorts of stuff, and we do a lot of paranormal stuff, among other stuff, missing persons and blah blah blah. And he
Very
said
good,
something,
very well written creepypasta.
yeah, that as well. Well, I told him everything. I told him all the stories are original and they're really good. And um, he came out with something that was really, really weird. And he said there's a lot more paranormal stuff going on at the moment.
Oh, really?
And sort of in general,
Hmm.
but we ended up, something happened and we got distracted. And I forgot to ask him what he meant.
Oh,
So I don't know if he meant around here where we live or in general around the world.
right.
But maybe there is.
Maybe there is.
Maybe um, there is a lot more paranormal stuff going on.
Yeah. Interesting. You have to find out what he was
Yeah,
talking about.
because I think we're quite isolated, aren't we? Because like you said, you don't tend to watch TV. You watch stuff off
Yeah.
on your tablet and stuff like that. I
Yeah.
I don't watch any TV really other than sport.
Right.
Um, and I tend to just watch DVDs or stuff off Netflix and stuff like that.
Yeah, me
Um,
too.
a lot of the stuff I watch is sort of paranormal based,
Yeah, I don't.
so I, I don't, I don't really like you asked before about Brexit and stuff like that. Excuse me, I don't really know what's going on to about that at all.
Right,
Because it's not, it doesn't interest me, to be honest. It doesn't affect me.
right.
Um, and we laugh and joke about politics, don't we? And
Yeah,
I wind you up, you wind me up.
yeah.
But maybe there is a bit of a change going on in the world, and maybe
Mm,
maybe because we're blinkered about what we do, maybe there is a lot
right,
more stuff going on,
right.
and we don't realise.
Yeah, that's interesting.
That would be a good thing to ask anyone who listens to this podcast. Do they think that in general in the world there is more paranormal, supernatural stuff going on, or is it just isolated to us?
Right. Well, you know what's really weird is I was thinking about. It's funny that you should say this and bring this up, which of course you did because we Rob and I practically share a brain. Literally, Rob went to ask me a question in yesterday morning, and I said to him, "I know what you're going to ask. I know what you're going to ask," and I was right. I mean, we like I can finish the sentences, um, and he can finish mine. It's anyway. We're Cerber related. Um, um, but I've been reading some stories about hauntings in Texas, and kind of I have this new segment where I'm kind of going to be taking people on this little road trip through this book and talking about different cities in Texas and their haunted stories. And it's really strange because I mean it's an entire book, and it's about Texas, and there's more than one book, and you really can't find a place that doesn't have something written or online that has about ghost stories or haunted buildings. I I'm preparing for October's 31 days, and so I was looking up where I live right now and the most haunted places, and hundreds of things come up, and I thought, it's really now that we have the internet and you can see things like that. People can have a place to share their experiences with like-minded people who don't, think they're hallucinating or lying. And these stories are coming out, and people aren't afraid to tell them. And like a lot of these stories that I'm reading are the like somebody who works in a hotel will say that a customer came down and told them, this, and that. There's a hotel, the Hotel Skirvin in Oklahoma, that Meta World Peace stayed at when he was playing for, I don't want to get this wrong, the Lakers. Is that right? Somebody's going to kill me if that's not right. But and they were in Oklahoma playing the basketball game, and he actually told the people that he had been molested by a ghost in his room. There was a time, or if you said that, well, he wouldn't have. He wouldn't have said that. He wouldn't
Yeah,
have felt comfortable saying it. But every little town has their places where you can go. The place I moved from had several little places to go, because I almost got arrested for going to one. No trespassing means no trespassing, kids. They're serious. Um, but it's really, really kind of you can go look up like Dallas, Texas. Look up Dallas, Texas ghost tours. They have them. Houston, Houston, Texas ghost tours. They have them. Of course, everybody knows you can go on ghost tours in New Orleans. Um, any place in North Carolina. But there's it's so strange because it is something that is widely accepted and spoken about now, but yet science completely ignores it.
Oh, don't get me started on bleeding science.
I wish they would spend some more time on it because so many people have these experiences, and I think that scientific community writes it off as suggestion. You go in thinking that something's going to happen, so it does. You know, I was reading an article about this woman who went on a tour of, there's the Adolphus Hotel in Dallas, Texas, which is, first off, beautiful, but reported to be extraordinarily haunted. And I really, really, really want to go. I've been meaning to go since I moved to Texas, and for some reason I haven't gone. But she said she went on a ghost tour. They did a ghost walk and went through the Adolphus, and they give you the divining rods and crystals. And she said she was holding her crystal in her hand. She's not really. She went as a reporter to report on the tour because it was coming up on Halloween season. And she said that she had the crystal in her hand flat out, and the crystal started spinning and like spun right off of her hand.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and she said she wouldn't have believed it. If somebody had told her they went on a tour and they were like, "Oh, the crystal spun and went right out of my hand," she said, "I would have thought, well, sure, there's a trick, there's something, or you're lying." But she experienced it. Now she does report on these ghost tours as part of her job and completely believes. So I think it's really interesting that more people are getting exposed now because we can look up. You're
Yeah.
traveling and you're going on a road trip, and let's go on a ghost tour. We've done that. I've done that several times in Prescott, Arizona, and if you look it up, it is Prescott. And I have a very, very, very close family member of mine whose middle name is Prescott, but they call it Prescott in Arizona, so I'm not an idiot. In Prescott, Arizona, they have a ghost tour, and it's a tiny little town. But that was one of the things we did on Halloween. We were like, "What can we do that's scary?" And we drove up to the mountains and went on a ghost tour.
Yeah, they have ghost tours here as well.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
Oh, I would love that.
Mm.
Oh, the history there. That would, love that.
We've got a really old jail in Bodmin Jail. I think they
Uh,
run ghost tours and you can stay there overnight.
Oh,
It's supposed to be haunted. Obviously, all the pirates, because this was like the main smuggling thing for the
yeah.
pirates. We have not far from here actually. It's the Jamaica Inn, um,
Oh.
which has got a museum attached to it. Um,
The Jamaica Inn?
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, because it's um, all Pirates of the Caribbean and all that malarkey in it.
Right.
Um, so yeah, there's lots of different weird stories, and you go down to Land's End, which is the end, basically the end of the UK,
The end of
and
land.
yeah, the end of the land. And there's a pub. There's a pub there, and it says as you're driving towards it, it says the last pub in Britain, and as you're driving back towards it, it says the first pub in Britain.
Hmm.
That's supposed to be haunted. It's really, really old. We're talking, I don't know, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years old. Some of these buildings.
Yeah. Yeah, you're really lucky about that. We don't have much of that.
Yeah,
Well, we're
because
not, well,
yeah,
first off, we're not hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years old. And even if we are, we knock everything down.
see, you told me that before, and I find that really hard to believe that they would knock these buildings down.
Well, yeah.
That as soon as something gets old, it doesn't mean it's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, luckily we have like historical societies and stuff that really try and step up and protect things. But for a long time we didn't, and so it just knocked down and something else is built over it.
That's, that's crazy. Can you
Yeah.
keep if you can hear this beeping? I apologise. It's my stupid phone. Again, sorry.
Oh, I don't hear it.
Oh, good. It must just be me. Maybe I'm just hearing things, hallucinating again.
But maybe that's why. Maybe he's exposed more. That was my point. Maybe he's exposed more if because it's kind of it's really the popular thing. You know, it's very popular.
Hmm.
It goes through paranormal stuff. Seems to throughout history go through times where it's
Yeah.
really popular and then fades away. And like
Yeah.
Houdini and all those people were really into trying to
Hmm.
communicate with the dead, and that
Yeah.
faded away, and then that became a real big sin again. And so I think we're in one of those times where it's, um, but it's more pronounced. But when I tell people that I do podcasts and stuff, and say I talk about paranormal things and stuff like that, I actually feel like people are like judgy. As well. You should know, by the way, because you were stopped in church and asked if you talked to dead people. So
Yeah. How ridiculous is that?
weirdest, craziest thing. And I just want to clarify, not because the woman wanted to speak to a loved one, she wanted to chastise you about it.
Yeah. I've had a lot of issues with the fact that we do the podcast and the material of the podcast. I mean, I wouldn't mind, but the podcast paranormal is only a part of what we do.
Yeah,
Missing persons, the stories, you
right.
know, and
I do
I think
silly stuff about haunted houses you can buy or what you can buy on eBay, weird paranormal news. There's a lot of stuff.
I wasn't very happy about that at all.
Yeah, that's very weird. I'm sorry about that, Rob. I'm a bad
No,
influence on you.
not a bad influence on anyone. It's just annoying how small-minded people can be.
Yeah,
It really is, and it annoys me. Get your facts right.
yeah. Well, maybe we should start talking to dead people.
Yeah, maybe that would be a good idea.
Tell her
We
that you
should.
don't currently, but if we do start, can we get her number?
We talked
Invite
about
her.
this the other day. We talked about this yesterday, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I need to just say I've
Embrace
got a
it, Rob.
message. I've got a message for you from beyond.
Yes. That's what I told Rob. You should go up to her and say, I have a message for me from a dead relative, and just say something really vague and in general that, like people do, and then she'd be walking away going, oh my God, he's so talented. You could make some extra cash on the side, Rob.
Yeah.
You do live in a tourist town.
Oh yeah. Get one of those big flowing gypsy dresses and sit and move crystal balls out.
You mean another one.
Yeah. Get me.
Put me in your ear, and I can tell you, just like the movie Ghost.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can be over here looking shit up on them about on the internet and be like, oh yeah, her husband passed away on June 16th, 2017. Okay, pretend like that didn't wasn't said because I think that's a good business idea.
Oh dear me. But it just shows you how ignorant people can be.
Yeah, I kind of depends on who's asking or talking about it, like what I say, I do a podcast. If I bring it up, if I bring it up at all, you know, and that's really weird because, uh, or that I have a channel. I'll say, I have a channel and this is what we do, but I don't. I kind of have to judge who I'm talking to because, well, because there's people like that lady who were all, do you talk to dead people and this is what you should do, which is,
I think a lot of it's fear.
mm-hmm.
I think a lot of it is down to the fact that they're scared and they don't understand. And
Yeah.
they think it's wrong
Well, yes, they think it's wrong. Yeah.
because they just don't understand themselves. So,
Right.
if you want to ask me, then ask me properly. Don't just assume that you know better and tell me that I need to ask Jesus for forgiveness.
Jump over pews on our way over there. Hey, do you talk to dead people? You should ask for forgiveness. That's so.
Jesus talked to dead people, didn't
Yeah. Jesus was a dead people, and he rose from the dead.
he?
So
Crazy.
technically, she talks to dead people too.
Well, yeah. Yeah, that's a good point, actually. I should have thought of that. I should have been thought quicker on my feet. Then.
Well, you can go next Sunday and go, and by the way,
No, I
like
don't
you're
want to
still in the conversation.
stand up in church and go, and by the way,
Yes, do that.
for anyone
And
who's got a problem.
furthermore, oh my gosh. Well, you had your you told somebody that you did a podcast, and your preacher did about and what it was, and your preacher did a sermon the next Sunday about it. So
Yeah.
you're very popular at your church right now.
Yeah. Oh, gosh.
Well, do you want to talk about familiars or not?
We can talk about them a bit, yeah.
Okay, let's talk about familiars. And if you people listening aren't familiar with what familiars are, let me tell you real quick, okay? So here we go. I'm going to give you a description. All right. So in European folklore and folk belief of the medieval and early modern periods, familiar spirits, sometimes referred to as familiars or animal guides, were believed to be supernatural entities that would assist witches and cunning folk in their practice of magic. According to the records of the time, they would appear in numerous guises, often as an animal, but at times as a human or a humanoid figure, and were described as clearly defined three-dimensional forms, vivid with color and animated with movement and sound, by those alleging to have come into contact with them. Unlike later descriptions of ghosts with their smoky, undefined forms. So, in in what we would consider a familiar these days would be the witch's cat or Harry Potter's owl, things like that.
Yeah, I'm just reading about that now.
Are you?
Or Toad.
Yeah, or the toad. Yes, every child in Harry Potter has a familiar, and so well maybe not. Maybe I don't know what Hermione's familiar is. It doesn't matter. Um, but some animal that is harmless, a mouse. What would your familiar be if you had one? If you could, if you had a familiar, if if they did work, what would your familiar be?
Um, Spider.
Really?
Yeah, tarantula.
Oh, you're weird.
Okay, thank you. Yeah,
Why? Wait, sorry. Well, you know that. I'm weirder, so except
because that's my next
well,
pet that I'm getting.
no, Rob, no. I can't come visit now.
I absolutely love them. I think they're amazing.
Then you probably don't want to hear the story of us camping in Arizona, finding a tarantula in our campsite. I'll just tell you that he is in a field running around with other tarantulas. He's very happy.
Okay.
He's on a big farm. He's on a big tarantula farm. Um, so you're familiar would be a tarantula. You'd be okay with a tarantula that could speak to you.
Well, apparently all your animals can speak to you. So yeah.
Of course they do. My They speak
No.
to other people as well through me.
You're the familiar.
Yeah, you're right. That's so funny. To explain this, I
Don't
have
have to.
different voices for my dogs, and they talk to my family, and Rob thinks that's creepy as hell. Um, it might be. I don't know. I don't think so. I am their familiar. That is so funny.
Yeah, it's very very creepy.
It's not creepy. Dogs, people. Okay, so if they had a talking animal on TV, somebody is doing the voice.
Yeah, but that's different. It's on TV. You're not on TV. You're doing it in your house.
They are. They're talking. God, whatever. Ruin it for me. Anyway, Tracy, if you were going to have a familiar, what would it be? Well, let me see, Rob. I think maybe something like a rabbit. If rabbits were a little bit calmer and cuddled a little bit better. A rabbit I could like snuggle with. That would be awesome. Yeah, a rabbit. Hey, if you guys could have a familiar, what would it be? Leave it down below. Creepy, like Rob's, or cuddly, like mine. I don't. I don't want a spider talking to me. That I don't know. A gecko. Geckos are adorable. I could do that.
Oh yeah, gecko. I've got a couple of geckos. So yeah, gecko.
Yeah, that'd be cute. Okay, so what do you want us to know about familiars, Rob?
Well, the reason I got thinking about familiars the other day is what I watched. An old film. I was told now the Blade films with your best friend Wesley Snipes.
Yeah, I don't like him.
But um, in the film, uh, they have the vampires. If everybody must have seen Blade,
Yeah.
have familiars.
Oh, they do.
Yeah,
I
who are
don't remember
people.
that. Oh.
They're people who basically do the work for the vampires during the day,
Oh,
and
that's what I need.
they have a little tattoo on their wrist
Hmm.
to say to determine which vampire they're aligned to or assigned to or whatever.
Right.
And that got me thinking about familiars, and we talked about it. Um, but yeah, there's I've seen a couple of films now that familiars have popped up in. But
Oh,
yeah, but in Blade, yeah, they have them, and
interesting.
they some of the familiars they sort of donate blood, but just enough
Ah,
so they don't die.
right.
And Um, they're a bit like human blood prostitutes.
Oh, jeez. You know, I think that there are weird, dark groups that actually do stuff like that.
Yeah, there are.
Ugh, ugh.
Yeah, if you've seen
Huh.
Buffy, then they are.
I have seen Buffy. Well, I want to tell about I want to tell the story because I'd never heard this before, and it's really weird. During the English Civil War, the royalist general Prince Rupert was in the habit of taking his large poodle dog named Boy into battle with him. Throughout the war, the dog was greatly feared among the parliamentarian forces and credited with supernatural powers. The dog was apparently considered to be a familiar, and at the end of the war, they shot the dog with a silver bullet.
They're,
Weird.
hor- they're horrible poodles.
Poodle. Um, have you seen like poodles are actually big dogs, like real big dogs.
Yeah,
I like those kind. I don't like the little yappy poodles, but that's not the point. The point is they shot this poor thing with a silver bullet, like he was a werewolf.
maybe it was.
Maybe that's why they shot it. It was because he was a little yappy poodle.
They're nasty, nasty as well. Poodles. People think poodles are all lovely and nice. They're not. They're nasty little, nasty, nasty dogs.
You know what? Us other kind of dogs. We're not allowed. Okay, when we moved here, um, a lot of the places we looked at where we live, they want DNA samples of your dog. It's a true fact, people. Um, and one of the reasons, there's two. Um, one reason is so that if your dog poops on the property, they can take a DNA sample and they know it's your dog, that you didn't pick it up, which is the weirdest fucking job that anybody's had in their life. Sorry about that. I dropped the F
Which
bomb. It's somebody's job to pick up the poop and take it to a lab to have it DNA tested. It's like, anyway, but also they want to make sure you're not hiding any, uh, you know, like unwanted sort of a breed of dog. And one of those dogs is Dalmatians. Fire, fire, fire dogs. I didn't know they were considered mean. Dalmatians? Hello? I There's 101 of them in a cartoon, and they seem nice enough.
they have problems with their eyes, Dalmatians. A lot of them go blind.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Well, how mean can that be?
yeah.
There's a long
There's not.
list of dogs they won't accept.
It's pitbull on there.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Any type of terrier looked like. Dobermans. They don't. We used to own Dobermans. Jory was bit in the face by a Doberman when he was an infant. Our Doberman. So we, obviously kept Jory, and the dog had to go.
It's weird them saying having um, a list of dogs you can't have because it's not really the dog's fault, is it?
Well, yeah, that's what people say. They
But
say it's the owner, but I think some. I'm not gonna get into it because I'm just gonna leave it right there. Because if I trash a beloved dog of somebody's, I'm gonna I'm gonna hear about it. Because everybody's got a pit bull that they know would never bite anybody.
until it does.
So yeah, I just, but they don't. German shepherds, they don't let you have. Although they're so smart.
That's our police dog Alsatians.
Yeah, they're police dogs, but maybe that's why they're police dogs because they can. I wouldn't want to meet one in a dark alley. But I don't know. There's dogs I'd never heard of, breeds I'd never heard of in my life. I'm like, okay,
Have I
Chihuahuas is what they should be worried about.
have I told you my story about an Alsatian?
About what?
An Alsatian, a German Shepherd, or whatever you want to call it.
That's what do you call them? Alsatians?
Alsatians, yeah.
No.
Um, they use them as police dogs here. And a
Mm-hmm.
long, long, long time ago, when I was young and
Oh
stupid, um, I was trying to get away from the police because I'd been naughty,
no.
and I've still got the bite marks in my arm where the dog bit me.
Oh
I
no.
was, and because I was very drunk and very stupid,
I don't believe this story.
it's under my tattoo. You can't really see it properly, but I'll send you a picture.
I can't imagine that you were like this, Rob.
I bit this bleeding dog.
You bit the dog?
The dog was biting me, so I bit the dog, and the dog didn't like it.
He didn't, did he?
Didn't like it.
Not one bit. He wasn't having it.
Tasted like chicken.
Did you get a fur ball?
First of all, got a really good proper bite. It was, not like a nip, like a little love nip. A proper bite. I got hold of its leg and I was shaking it to get off me.
What? Oh my god. I wish I could see this. Oh my god, I bet that was the only person that ever bit that dog. Well, sorry about that, Rob. Anyway, I don't want to talk about familiars anymore.
Okay.
I just can't. I need to be done. Well, oh hey, in Macbeth there was a familiar. It was a gray cat. No, a gray cat summoned a human. Gray Malkin. That's I think the typical what people think of as a familiar as a cat.
Oh yeah, the witch's cat. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I was a cat in a previous life. I feel like I'm a cat. Like I have my moments where, you know, I'll be nice to you and then, like a cat like lets you pet them and then all of a sudden they slap the fuck out of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of like that sometimes. Yeah, can't help it. Well, Rob, I've enjoyed talking to you tonight.
Thank you, Tracy. I've enjoyed talking to you.
I have missed doing podcasts.
I think it's a good one, this one. I think people enjoy it.
I hope so. I like having just conversations and hanging out with you.
Yeah, it's
Because we're weird.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, they haven't even heard the worst of it. So.
Oh no, not to be aired.
No. All right. Well, like I said, 31 days of Halloween are coming, and you're going to be helping out, of course.
Yeah.
And Jory is going to be helping me, which is exciting. And it's time for him to get back on the saddle. It's been 6 months now. Let's go. My husband is going to be helping.
Oh, nice one.
Yeah. And Madison will be. So I'm sure that Maya will be forced to do something. She's so shy that it's really hard to get her to do a story, but I think she does a really good job when she does.
Yeah, she does.
She's got that little voice. Hi, I'm Maya. It's very endearing. So look forward to that, guys, because that was a lot of fun last year. It was a lot of work, but it was a lot of fun. And also, I should be in Arizona with Jory in October, so maybe we can do a podcast again when we're together, like we did last year, and that'd be fun. I don't know. I don't think he's gonna be doing a drunk Halloween this year, though. Well, he's got the baby to take care of. I can do. I can still do it. Cheers. So we'll be doing a lot of stuff, and I'm excited about it.
Yep, it's going to be good. It's going to be good.
All right, Rob.
Right, well, I
Well,
will let you go.
all right. And again, if you would give this video a thumbs up if you haven't already, please do so. Please share these videos. Go through my videos. Like we have talked about several times during this podcast, there's all kinds of different content. Go look through my playlists. True paranormal stories, true stories of things that happened to people who have volunteered to talk about it, myself included, family members, Rob. Um, we do true crime stories, unsolved murders, weird disappearances. We do the 411 disappearances from national forests.
That's really good.
I that is the topic that I could just really do every day probably. It really is fascinating to me, and if you guys are interested in that, please go look those up because um, I try to I've done some older cases, of course, but I have also done some very recent cases that you may not have heard of. So go ahead and look for those. I write my own creepypasta and narrate them, and you won't find them anywhere else because I don't upload them to um, the Wikipedia pages that have the creepypasta or Reddit pages because as soon as you upload them, then anybody is allowed to read them, which is great, but I don't want you guys to find my stories anywhere else but here. So come look for those. I do them at least once a week, and I really, really love to write and narrate, and it's my it's my gift to you guys because it's something that I really love doing. So I love sharing it, and I hope that you do enjoy them. Um, and thank you for everybody who's been supporting my channel and coming back, even though I was missing for a good long time. I'm still recovering, so still slow to get right back into the groove of things, but I'm working on it. And I really am thankful to you guys for all your messages and heartfelt get wells and prayers. And I had somebody who wrote and said that they don't give away prayers easily, and they were sending me a prayer, and I thought that was very touching. So thank you to everybody, all my friends, all our friends, the channel's friends. We really appreciate you all. We have a great community here, and I love it. So, and I know Rob does. I know we all enjoy. Rob and I both enjoy communicating with you guys and having conversations, and something I look forward to. So,
Yeah,
if you're not subscribed, go ahead and do that, please. Become part of this community. Anybody fits in, everybody fits in. It's the most non judgmental, fun community, and we have a good time. So,
yeah.
good night.
Good night.